Welcome to this information video with me, MrSealyp. Okay then, I am on my Spectacle Island Let's Play map. This is not a Let's Play episode, don't worry, you're not missing anything. This is just a few things I'm doing in between. I've just realised I'm going the wrong way. So I thought now would be a good opportunity to explain. A few people asked me about subscriber contracts. I've mentioned them a few times, and if I am going to move into doing a subscriber contract Let's Play alongside the standard one, it's not going to be the only one I'm doing. People want to know what it's about, how to get involved, and you know, the kind of the whys, the wherefores, the do you mind if I don't, those kind of, you know. So subscriber contracts, what's it all about? Well, I kind of mentioned before, it's a nice way for subscribers to get involved, viewers to get involved in what I'm doing, to feel part of what I'm doing on a more grassroots level, but also for people to engage in a storyline and narrative themselves if they want to. The basic premise behind it being, I'm going to go into a little bit more detail with some nicely prepared screenshots, etc., is that the in-game contract system is great and it works fine, but this is just, like I say, it's just a way to get people involved, and if they want to run their own, they absolutely can. How does it work? Subscribers, viewers submit a contract, so they can, on whether it's a comment on YouTube, whether it's a Twitter direct message, a Facebook direct message, on social media, it might even be on Discord. Now the guys on my Discord server have suggested they're going to put a separate section on the Discord server for contracts. However you submit your contract, I will read them, and then what I will do is try and implement them into the storyline that I'm running. Now when I say the storyline that I'm running, what will happen is that those contracts will guide how the story goes depending on what I get in. Now the story itself will come down to the actual contracts themselves, and it can get a little bit complicated. How do I make them work? Well, what I do is everything else. Once you've submitted your contract, I'll go into how you can do that and the details of what you need to do for a contract, but using government subsidies, using, well, basically all the magic of making a Let's Play video anyway, all the behind the scenes stuff, I make it work. So if somebody submits a contract asking me to, you know, would you be able to send me, I don't know, 10,000 litres of wheat. My chickens need wheat, could you send me 10,000 litres? What I will do is do a wheat field, do a wheat harvest, I'll get the wheat, I'll put it in a trailer. Now what will often happen is when a subscriber contract is submitted, the person will say where they want it delivered to. Now that obviously has to be part of the map I'm on. If it's one of the locations on the map, can it be taken to? I will take it to a location, which might be a hub, it might be a place I've decided on the map, that's where my distribution centre is. So it will go to there, then it will go off to the people. Now, as far as payment goes for a contract, the payment may be, oh, you know, we'll pay you 5,000 euros, or we'll send you a trailer. We've got a spare trailer knocking around, or we, you know, there can be. It doesn't have to be monetary. It can be, oh look, we can do a trade. You know, if you send me 10,000 litres of wheat, I know you've got pigs, therefore I can send you 5,000 litres of pig food. You know, I will then use government subsidy signs. I will use various different things. I'll have the buy anything silo somewhere on the map, out the way, so no one can see it. And then what I will do is I'll send the contracts off once it's complete. Then I will then simulate the 5,000 litres of pig food coming in, and that will be part of my inventory. So the whole system becomes a kind of rolling role play, rolling storyline. Now, I know a lot of people don't like them because they get complicated and they get confusing. Now, in my defence, and what I will say, am I stuck on that post? What I will say in my defence is, if we just go into, and this was something I wanted to show, if we go into the contract screen, so at the moment we've got sowing, we've got harvesting. Now, similarities and differences between in-game contracts and the contract system, subscriber contracts. Now, an in-game contract has a person. The person here is David Finkel. He owns Field 8, which has a certain acreage. The contract is for sowing. He wants me to sow his field. So there's a specific job that wants to be done there. Is it measurable? Yeah, once it's sown, it's done. It's a measurable thing. Is it achievable? Yeah, of course it is. I can achieve that, no problem at all. I'll do Field 8. And is there a payment? Yeah, there is a payment. 1,571 is what they're going to pay me for sowing that field. So all the parts of a contract are there. Is there a time limit? Well, there isn't a time limit because you can come in and out and you can save your game and come back and do it a little bit later if you want to. But it's something that I'm going to do fairly quickly. It's a single job. So a subscriber contract compared to an in-game contract is almost identical. All the elements are there. The differences are that a subscriber contract is going to be more complicated. In that, rather than no one's going to contact me and say, "Can you sow a field for me?" I mean, they might do. It might be a simple thing of, if you want to keep it really basic, someone could say, "I own field X on the map, whatever map it is I'm on, whatever map I'm doing, I own field whatever." Now, obviously, I've got to then put some money in. I need to buy that field to have access to it. Can you sow that field for me? Now, if that field's already got a crop in it, for me to get to that point, I've got to do some behind-the-scenes work, which means I'm going to have to clear that field, maybe cultivate it or do whatever, so that when I do the storyline, when I'm actually doing the video, I can then show me sowing that field for them. If they've given me a payment, they're going to pay me. I can sort out the payment, whether it be, like I say, monetary or whether it be something else. I can do that. Once it's done, job done, and everything's all right. Now, the thing about doing an in-game contract is we kind of gloss over the name of the person on the field. We don't pay much attention to that. All we worried about is what have we got to do, what we're going to get paid. Now, if the contract's a little bit more complicated, if the person says, "I need X amount of litres of," like I said, wheat, I've then got to prepare the field, fertilise the field, sow the field, grow that, harvest it, get it off the fields, unless I've got some wheat in storage, which sometimes I do. If I get further on in the storyline, I might already have a load of wheat. Someone might say, "Look, have you got," because if they've been watching the episodes, they might know I've got a load of wheat and say to themselves, "Well, okay, we could do a deal here. If you've got some wheat, send me the wheat and I'll send you this, I'll send you that." So I know people get kind of bogged down on subscriber contracts. It's a bit too much. It gets a bit complicated. It really isn't a lot different to these. It's not much different. We go to the harvesting one, same thing. It's got an owner. It's got a job they want me to do. It's got a payment. Now, another difference is something that often happens is when people submit the subscriber contracts is they will add a story, a backstory, a narrative. A lot of people, when they've submitted them in previous Let's Plays I've done, will give themselves a company name. So they'll, and I love that. I like the fact that people do that. But also, rather than just have, with the in-game contracts, you've got just a name on the contract there. Subscriber contracts, they're real people. I'm engaging with real people. I've never made them up. I know when I did one of my Let's Plays before, somebody argued that I was just making them up. They weren't real people. They were all just made up and I was just doing it so I could cheat money into the game or something. They're all real people. Every subscriber contract is an actual person that has submitted it. And I like that. I honestly think it feels you're giving something back. I know, when I first started playing the game and I sent a message to Daggerwin. Myself and Silly were watching his Let's Plays and we sent a message to Daggerwin saying we've been really inspired and thank you so much. Getting a response back was mind-blowing. It was so cool. And even now, when I get messages from modders, from map makers, and people say, "Oh, thanks for showing my mod on the mod review," or "Thanks for doing the first look on my new map," or I get a real buzz out of that because these are the people that are making the game better. When I was doing the FSL stuff with Giants and I got to meet Lars and Chris Stumfer, Chucky and all this, that for me was a real buzz. It was amazing. So, it's all just different degrees of it. I like that interaction. I like that it's sort of giving back in a way, I suppose. So, as far as that goes, now people may just still be absolutely against it, don't want to know, not interested, and that's absolutely fine. You don't have to be engaged with it. I like it because it can really throw you some curveballs. I like the backstories people that add. I like the imagination that comes up. Now, I'm going to go through now what we need for a contract. What I'm going to do while I'm doing this, there's going to be an example contract is going to come up on the screen. Now, this example contract is from Big Papa C, long-term fan and friend of the channel and myself and my family. and has submitted subscriber contracts before. So we've already kind of got an ongoing backstory because he's got Heavenly Smoked Hams LLC, and that's been an ongoing thing. I think I provided him with pigs from Geiselsberg and things like that. So the contract is this. I'm sorry, I'm going to stop because I want to read and walk at the same time. I'm looking at two different places. I don't want to fall off the cliff. So, dear sir, our farming and animal husbandry department have recently gone into horse rearing. We take former race horses by buying them and turn them into pleasure horses for private owners and ranches in the wilderness touring business. Recently, we have had an overabundance of incoming stock and find ourselves running out of boarding space. We would like to know if you would be interested in fostering 4 of our lovely beauties and caring for their well-being and training. Not much is involved, just feeding, making sure they get enough protein and roughage, plenty of water, and a warm stall to sleep in. Also, training involves daily riding and exercise and getting them calm and to a social state where they interact better with people, their riders, and other horses. Keep in mind that these are thoroughbreds needing to be gentled down some and turned into riding stock. The 4 I will be sending your way if you decide to take on the job are Chowder, Penelope, and Frank and Beans. I like that. Contracts that make me grin. I love ones that come up and just make me smile because of the ingenuity and the clever way that things have been put into there. As per their care, we will also be willing to throw in 4 bales of hay, 3 pallets of feed by Quiet Hitman, straw for bedding. Once trained and tamed, we would ask that you deliver them to River Ridge Mountain Tours. That is, of course, once they've reached the limit of their training and sale price. We offer also as payment 60% of the sale price to you. We are willing to negotiate this contract if you feel there is a need to either up or lower the deal. Please reply at your utmost convenience. Sincerely, C. Hunley, Big Papa C. So that's an example contract. I've got a few different ones knocking around, but that's the latest one I've had. So that is going to be implemented into my new Let's Play when I start it. Now, what do the contracts need? Well, kind of the things I've been talking about already, and we're going to talk through what's been put into this one already. Now, it doesn't have to be complicated. It could be more complicated than that. That's a fairly straightforward one. When you take out the relevant bits of information you need to get it up and running. So, I know I'm in sort of teaching mode here, but SMART targets. Is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it achievable? Realistic? And is it time-bound? So, does it have a clear and manageable objective? Well, I've highlighted the bits there. Couple of things I need to know. Well, what is it? Well, it's horse rearing. It's not arable crop. It's not bales. It's not, I don't have to provide animals. I'm going to be horse rearing. So I know that I'm going to have to collect them. I'm going to have to change the names on them because the name's been put in there. So what do I need to do? Can I foster 4 of the lovely beauties and caring for their well-being and training? So I'm just going to be rearing horses. When you take everything out of that, that's what I'm going to be doing. Horses, 4 of them, rearing them. And then obviously the payment side of things, there's a payment there. We also offer 60% of the sale price. Now it does say, and Big Papa C, like I say, he's not new to this whole malarkey, that is negotiable. So like I said, there is a clear and manageable objective. I can do that. Is there a sensible timeline? Well, the timeline is governed by the animals themselves. Sometimes there will be a timeline. Is the timeline sensible in that? Sometimes I've had people send me contracts saying, can you provide me with 500,000 litres of slurry? I need it by next Wednesday. I'm in a position where I've got no animals maybe, and how is it possible for me to supply that much slurry in sort of 3-4 days? It's not a sensible timeline, can't be achieved. So think about, is it possible to deal with that? The payment, I mean, for me, 60% of the sale price is pretty good. They get 40, I get 60. I would argue it the other way. I would say, look, they're your horses. All I'm doing is looking after them. You've bought them. I'm just doing a bit of work with them. Flip it the other way around. You keep 60% of the sale price. I take 40%. I'll be happy with that. I'd be more than happy with that. Wouldn't be a problem at all. But that's something that could be negotiated if we did it. Now, the other thing as well is, does it fit the narrative? Now, at the moment, I don't have a Let's Play running. And if that's the first contract I take on my new storyline, if I was to take that on as my first contract. And bearing in mind as well, if I'm starting out, I might be doing a start from scratch let's play, suddenly getting 4 horses. If I don't have stables or anything, that might be a contract I do a little bit further down the line. Will it fit the storyline? Potentially. It all depends on what I'm doing at the time. Now, there are also a lot of bells and whistles thrown into there. The bells and whistles are the backstory. If we take out those bits that are highlighted, everything else is backstory. It's added information. There's stuff there they're saying they'll send me some bales, pallets of feed, straw bedding. I could accept that if I wanted to. I don't have to if I've got a load of stuff, but the offer's there. And is it all realistic? Will it all kind of work? It will. I have had contracts submitted in the past where people go a little bit overboard. I've had people offer me trial vehicles for a certain period of time. I like that as an idea. That often works quite well. If somebody says to me, look, we'll send you, we've got a particular tractor, you can have it for 3 game days. And that's great. I'll take a tractor, have it for 3 game days, give it back. Real life farmers and farmers do that all the time. I have had people say to me, I've got a case quad-track you can have. That's a bit more difficult to sell. That's a little bit more difficult when you've got people watching to suddenly go, oh look, I've got a new quad track that one of my subscribers just said I can have. That's not particularly realistic. So it has to be kind of something that works, something that I can make work, something that I can make people believe. It's very difficult. Can you provide me with 10,000 litres of barley and I'll pay you £1 million? No, I mean, that again, not realistic. Yes, of course it's achievable, it's great for me, but is it realistic and will it work? Not really. So that's kind of as far as it goes with regard to contracts and what a contract could look like. And it doesn't have to be that, it could be something more complicated. It could be something far more basic. It doesn't have to be. Now, what do you need to do? If you want to get involved, what do you need to do? And there are a few things you need to do. Firstly, I would urge you to watch every prior episode of that Let's Play. Watch the Let's Play, get a feel for where the story's going. If there's not a story, if it's the first episode you think you're going to submit a contract, that's fine. Just stick to what I was just talking about, those sort of targets, and we'll be absolutely, spot on. But actually, I'm going to have to get seed from. I've had real trouble putting seed into this Absoluta for some reason, from the CNS modding and Marie one. So I think I have to do it from the regular one. So it cost me a bit more, but to be fair, I've got a load of really cheap seed up until now. So yeah, I would suggest please watch the previous episodes. I'm going to move that out of the way. Get a feel for the map I'm on. I've had people often. I get the feeling they haven't watched a single episode that I'm doing on the current Let's Play, and they'll say, oh, I own field, and they'll name a field that's not on the map, or it's a field that I already own that I'm already operating, or it's a field that somebody else, it needs to work, So you really need to watch what's going on, watch the episodes, and have a think about where I'm going with it. Look at the direction the story's going in, but also you need to think about, has it been done already? I often, and I might do the same job over and over again. Somebody argued and said, well, not argued, but said to me, the problem with subscriber contracts is it does get a bit boring because you're doing the same thing over and over again. Okay, answer me this. In the standard game, in a normal Let's Play, do I repeat jobs over and over again? Yeah. If you're redoing fields, I might do different crops and things, and that's the other thing to bear in mind. Think about the crop types. If I've just finished an episode where I've done a load of wheat for somebody, is submitting a contract for more wheat something that I'm likely to do in the next few episodes? Probably not. If I've just come off the back of doing 400 bales for somebody in a really big baling contract, if you submit a contract for bales, is that something I'm likely to do? So have a real think about, what have I done already on the Let's Play? What have I done recently? I have no problem with doing things again. If there's a different storyline, if there's a different narrative, a different place you want them delivered, there's obviously a difference between round bales and square bales and all the different bale types and that kind of thing. I'm not averse to redoing types of jobs, but you need to think about when you submit them, is it likely to get picked up on am I likely to do it if I've just finished doing a load of that similar sort of contract? Now, obviously, there's a limited amount of things I can do in game. I have also had people in the past submit contracts to me that are only available on PC. Would you be able to do this for me, that for me? Could you brew that? You know, I can only do what I can do within the realms of what's available on console, which I know infuriates some people. I still haven't made the move to PC, but I haven't. This is where I'm at, and I'm happy doing what I'm doing. No, I'm not going to do soybean. I just switched over. So, why is that not switching? It's because pressing the wrong button. I'm going to do barley. Let's turn it on. So if you watch the next Let's Play of this, you're going to realise why all of a sudden I've got new stuff. I think this might not have enough horsepower. So, that's the first thing. The other thing is, when you submit a contract, what I'm going to need you to do this time, and I haven't done it before, and I really should have done because it would have made my life so much easier, is if you are going to submit a subscriber contract on whichever social media platform you're going to do it on, can you please start your contract submission with the word contract in big capital letters. Contract, and then what your contract is. That way, when I'm sifting through and I'm going through all the social media comments, I'm going through, you know, looking at everything, and I'm having an admin day, I can see those subscriber contracts really quickly. I can screenshot them fairly quickly, and then I can, you know, do what I need to do to put them into folders and into categories. And it, you know, from my perspective, it's a lot of behind-the-scenes work. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be done, but I do find it very fulfilling. I do enjoy doing it. So, you know, that's. I mean, really, what you need to do is just, it's a bit of kind of common sense, I guess, with regard to contracts. Remembering all of those things we've just talked about, you know, sensible payment, sensible request. I have had people asking for organic contracts in the past, but then you do get some quite bizarre ones, or ones that are so complicated it requires 3 or 4 or 5 different processes to be done, almost like a productions chains kind of thing that's coming for FS22. That can get a bit time consuming. It can get a bit, you know, is it achievable? Not always, you know, it can be a bit difficult. So just have a think about that. So, with all of that being said, disclaimers. And this is a really important bit. I'm going to put disclaimers flashing on the screen right now. Can I do every contract submitted? No, not possible. I'm sure when I did my Geiselsberg Let's Play, I had about 600 contracts submitted. And honestly, I had it was insane how many I got, and that's awesome. I think by the end of the Let's Play, I'd done about 60, I think, because obviously, you know, 500-600 contracts submitted. As we already know, it might be you want me to do greenhouses, set up some greenhouses for you. You know, you might supply me with the kits, and can I grow, you know, whatever it is for you. I don't know, you know. That's harder to do because then I've got nothing to transport. But you know, sometimes we can make it happen with a bit of clever working, using pallet mods and stuff like that. You know, also have a think about what's available. Try and think outside the box a little bit and think, well, you know, if it was me, what could I use to role play this? You know, and yeah, just play with it a little bit. I like that as an option. And the ones that come in that I think, oh, you know what? I like that. That's cool. Ones that make me laugh, ones that make me smile, and then you get the ones that are kind of not heart wrenching, but you know, ones that have a story that's rooted in reality as well. I do like those. I did a couple on Geiselsberg that kind of choked me up a little bit. That were kind of really rooted in the real world and families, and I like the ones that get submitted by families, you know, when you've got a dad and his kids, or a mum and their kids, or the kids with their, you know, trying to get their dad involved, or whatever it might be, husbands and wives and stuff like that. I think it's great, you know, and I like being part of that. And what like I said right from the word go, I like the fact that people take that and run with it. So they might be playing a Let's Play themselves and they get a contract provided by me. I know Big Papa C, when he was running some of his Let's Plays, when I supplied him with stuff for a contract, he put that into his Let's Play and into his videos. You know, that he'd received this delivery from MrSealyp, and you know, that's brilliant. It makes it a kind of more far-reaching, a multi-creator kind of thing. I don't know. I like the idea of that. Anyway, so I can't do every one submitted. It may take a while for me to. So I know I'm rambling. It may take a while for me to get to your contract. If you submit a contract, I will often reply saying I will add it to my list. That doesn't guarantee it's going to get done. Like I say, it will be on my list. I'll go through and I'll try and work out what will fit for what I'm doing. Whoa, okay. That was interesting. So they may not get done. It may take a while for me to get to your contract. So please be patient and wait. Now, if I don't get to your contract, it may well be that I won't. You know, within a Let's Play, however long the Let's Play may be, I may just never get to yours, because of the amount I've had in, or because it's one that it's something very similar that I've done for other people or whatever. The more complicated the contract is, the harder it is to implement, so please bear that in mind as well. If I'm having a rough day, if I'm having a day where I'm not feeling so great, or if I'm having a day where, you know, it might be that I look down my list of contracts and think that, you know, I need something quick and easy, something that will fit the storyline. That's going to be too complicated, that's going to take too long, you know. Just, you know, I don't mind having ones that are interesting, but too complicated can be too much. And then finally, and this sounds very arrogant, and I apologise, but you need to kind of understand from my perspective, please do not repeatedly ask me when I'm going to be doing your contract. I will refer you back to the first 3 points I've just made. I can't do every contract. It may take me a while to get to your contract. I may never ever do your contract. That's the thing. I may never get to it. So I have had in the past people asking me every couple of days, sending me messages saying, when are you doing mine? When are you doing mine? I submitted it ages ago. It just may not happen. It's almost, you know, kind of a bit of a lottery. I know that's not what people want to hear, but it is. Unfortunately, it's just the nature of the beast. I can't really say any more than that. I'm trying to be as kind of fair as I can be as we go. As far as any other information, yeah, I mean, you could start submitting them now. I'm not quite sure when we're going to be starting the subscriber contract Let's Play yet. I did have an interesting message left for me on various different social media platforms from GB Modding. GB Modding, who brought us 6 Ashes, one of my favourite maps, if not my favourite map, on FS19, is submitting a new map, possibly in the next couple of weeks. Now, I know people have been saying with regard to mods and maps and stuff like, what's the point? Because FS22 is coming out. Well, it is, but it's only August. We've got the rest of August, September, October, then through to the 22nd November. So we've got a good 2.5 months before the new game comes out. So, yes, GB Modding is submitting a new map in the next couple of weeks. I may be lucky enough to get an early access version of it on PC. If I do, I'm going to try to do a first look map tour on it on PC. Now, my first look map tours on PC have been a bit hit and miss, I'll be totally honest with you. Hasn't always gone as well as I hoped, but I will absolutely try. So, I'm not sure whether or not I might hold off, and depending on the map and what it's like, we may do subscriber contracts on a brand new map from GB Modding. Might. Which has kind of thrown the cat among the pigeons, because I'd already decided the map I wanted to do for subscriber contracts. Or I might switch over and do 6 Ashes for a little while, because I felt I didn't really finish that off, and I wanted to finish that off, and then when the new one comes out, move from 6 Ashes to the new one, potentially. These are all ideas. So, actually I would say then submitting subscriber contracts now. What I will also do is when I start my subscriber contracts Let's Play, I will refer to this video, and I'll put a link in the description, or I'll put links up when I do the videos to this video to hopefully help describe and alleviate and explain how the process works and what it does and how you can get involved and kind of be part of it. I would really like that. That would be absolutely fantastic. So I know I've gone on long enough, way long enough, longer than I intended to. This was supposed to just be a quick bomb, because I'm doing work as well. I wanted to get some jobs done on here. So that's subscriber contracts, that's what they are, that's how they work, that's how you submit them. Once you've submitted them, I do everything else. You don't have to worry about payment, I do all of that. But if you want to tie it into your own Let's Plays, videos, whatever it is you're doing, if you've got your own channel, that kind of thing, absolutely add it in. That's fantastic. I think that would be absolutely brilliant to see a kind of storyline unfold across multiple channels and Let's Plays. I think it would be great. So anyway, I hope this has been useful and informative. I hope it's helped sort a few things out. If it has, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free, and if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. What I would ask is, if you don't like subscriber contracts and you don't agree with them, don't just dislike this video because you don't like subscriber contracts. It's honestly, to me, it feels pointless. I mean, if you don't like subscriber contracts, fair enough. I don't know why you'd be watching this video in the first place, but I mean, if you're gonna, I suppose. If you're gonna do that kind of thing, I can't stop you from doing that. But whatever you choose to do, thanks for watching.